What is up, folks? You're listening to the Texture Pop Podcast, unprofessionalism at its finest. I am your, temporary stand-in host, Chris Acharya, as Sam is busy as usual. He'll be with us shortly, hopefully. So joining me, of course, I got my trusty cohorts, Brandon Carey.
I shoot trucks with grenades.
Doesn't everybody shoot a truck with a grenade? Like, what else do you shoot a truck with?
A rocket.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or a nuclear missile.
And, of course, Garrett Glaze.
Don't indulge me in this.
Oscars!
Oh, yeah. Garrett's waiting for bated breath to talk about that one. But first,
I want Birdman to win. Or maybe not Birdman, but Birdman deserves Best Director.
Nice. So before we get into any of that, we got some listener questions. Remember, folks, if you want to ask us something, maybe have us read something on the air, or whatever, just send us an email to thetexturepop@gmail.com. You can find the link in the description. So, Brandon, what do we got?
Well, we get an email from Brandon Donis Perkins, otherwise known as Other Brandon.
Hello.
He writes to us, "Hey, guys. Hope everything is going great over there. We here over at Day Zero Update are finally getting into the swing of things. Anyway, questions. First of all, by now you guys have heard of the whole ruckus over the Order 1886.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, it was something of a dud. Too many cutscenes, too many QTEs, not enough compelling gameplay. Nothing wrong with a short game if it's good, but this isn't the case. So my question is this. Do you think the Order 1886, the symptom of a trend among AAA developers to make games more like movies, even if it means sacrificing gameplay in order to achieve it? Is the race for cutting-edge, movie-like graphics ultimately doing a disservice to AAA gaming and gaming in general?
I would say that this is something I don't think has been a problem, not just to stuff upcoming, but yeah, there's been way too much of a push. And this is something that happened in the previous generation of just trying to make games more and more cinematic, and it just feels like you as a player have less and less control and
I remember reading an article that Sam actually linked to me, and he'll be joining us in a bit, that stated that the problem with the Order isn't that it's a particularly bad game. The problem is that it's an okay game, and 5 or 6 years ago, a game like the Order might have gotten 8s on the viewer score. But now that we have all kind of been trained to expect a little more, and the fact that there hasn't been a really good AAA game yet in the next-gen console space.
Yeah, there really hasn't.
Not a must-buy. There have been a couple of good ones, but nothing that is must-buy and exclusive to next-gen consoles.
I'll point out right now, I wouldn't shit on a game just because of its length. Even if it's something that was only lasted for maybe 2 or 3 hours, if the 2 and 3 hours is fun and it's decently priced, then yes. However, especially when you're asking $60 up front for something like this, and if it does have if it doesn't have any kind of replay value or anything to it, then
you know me. By now, I am the person who is perfectly okay with a short game. That is fine by me. The problem is that, A, this game is pretty mediocre, and B, it's $60.
Yeah, it seems like from some of the stuff I read...
It was a fantastic experience, it'd be worth $60, but it's a mediocre 5 hours, so you're not really getting any value out of it.
It seems like they were just more fixed on trying to make a movie and a franchise out of this, and I think they really kind of fucked up, because they didn't cut... Yeah. They didn't try to make a game.
Like I said, in the previous generation, in the PS3, PS2 eras, this would have been okay. This is the kind of game that would have gotten maybe 8s across the board. But since we have been so disappointed by just the next gen in a general sense, anything that's not amazing at this point is just going to sink our expectations. Sometimes going to sink us even lower into that pool of, I'm getting sick of this shit.
Yeah, and especially because, they mentioned a lot of QTEs and stuff in it. Resident Evil 6, anyone?
We'll get to that.
Yep. So, Yeah, I mean, QTEs, there probably was a time when we thought that shit was revolutionary. We see that shit left and right, and to be quite honest with you, I don't think QTEs were ever that revolutionary at all. I just think it's just, here Simon Says while this fucking cutscene plays. That's basically it. I mean, even though I am a man who loves the God of War series, I will admit, I get really fucking tired with as many QTEs as there are in it sometimes, but...
It's a bummer.
Yeah. It's just... Anytime you have a game that's just taking control away constantly, that's stupid. Stop doing that.
But the problem with the Order is that it... In an old era, just doing this okay game would have been fine, but you're doing it in an era where okay is not good enough anymore.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's like all of these concepts and stuff that we were shown before, they haven't really aged that well. So even if the Order was something that maybe would have came out like 5 years ago, and if it would have
next gen graphics with previous gen gameplay,
pretty much. Although, to be honest, like, if they'd have just made this a shooter, and that's it, then it probably would have been a decent game. Like, it would have been a good time. I mean, you know, people will probably shit on it for other reasons, like, oh, there's no multiplayer or anything, but it's like, Wolfenstein doesn't have multiplayer either. And
I remember Jeff Gertzman made a comment that the problem wasn't that it was a 5-hour game, it was that the 5-hour game and the ending is basically like, it feels like the end of Act 2, and not the end of the actual story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like...
Again, I haven't played this game, so for the record, I'm just kind of speculating based on what I've heard from other people.
But it wouldn't surprise me that they're just trying to set this up as franchise bait, and that this seems like the epitome of stuff that was made to be hyped and to look good as from a marketing standpoint. But other than that, it doesn't play well.
And I mean, most of us were kind of expecting that to a degree, but it's still a shame that they couldn't even like make it an 8-hour experience. Like, I'm not trying to fuss about game length, but if you're going to make this a shooter and that's all it is just a mediocre shooter with quick time events, you better at least squeeze some decent length out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as, you know, and this has been my pet peeve, not just with next gen, but with also the last generation too, is just stop trying to make a game into a movie. Let the game be the game. Let movies be movies. If you want, you know, exposition and dialogue and stuff to happen, that's fine. Do that shit between levels. But don't do it all the time. Stop taking control away from me. Stop making it to where I just sit there and watch it. I want to play from start to finish uninterrupted.
And that goes back to the whole 30 frames per second because it's cinematic debate, which is a whole different can of worms. I don't want to open in this particular episode because we've done it before. But, I mean... This was just so many little things compounding all together in one that really took the Order and brought it down.
Yeah.
Down to its knees.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just that there is no one big problem. It's a ton of really small problems that compound with each other.
Yeah.
And that's a tragedy there. But I think we've all had our piece. Do you have anything to say, Garrett, regarding the Order?
Honestly, I have been hearing a lot about it, but I don't know the whole story, and you guys are pretty much summing it up best, so I have nothing to add.
All right. And that was the first question. The second one's a bit briefer. And for my follow-up, to the comic book fans in the group, how awesome is Kamala Khan? I freaking love her.
Oh, man. Sam needs to be here for this.
Can you please explain to the layman what this means? I.e. me. Because I don't know what Kamala Khan is.
Okay, so Kamala Khan... Okay, the long and short of it is that in Marvel Comics, there was a character called Ms. Marvel. Yeah, Carol Danvers.
But keep explaining.
Yeah, Carol Danvers was a character by the name of Ms. Marvel. She had gotten powers from a very lesser-known character named Captain Marvel, who nobody has cared about as far as Marvel Comics is concerned. And sometime that character died... and Carol Danvers as Ms. Marvel took up his mantle as Captain Marvel. So currently, Captain Marvel within Marvel Comics is a woman, Carol Danvers, who is actually a good character. She has been popular and people like her.
Is this the Arabian chick that took the mantle?
Well, I'm getting there. So, Carol Danvers is now Captain Marvel. However, we have a new character, Ms. Marvel, a new Ms. Marvel, who is a Pakistani teenage girl named Kamala Khan. So, basically, I kind of forgot what the question was.
How awesome is she?
She is very awesome from what I've heard. Unfortunately, I haven't read any of her stuff. I'm aware of who she is, and like her power set is like she can change size, and that's not just like she just grows big or small. She like can make her fists bigger and her arms and legs longer or shorter or anything.
Her breasts.
You had to go there.
Say it.
You had to. Damn it! Just. She's a teenage girl, Brandon. That's just fucking wrong. It's just... Anyway. The reason I feel like Sam should totally be here for this, though, is that he has been reading those, and he has been loving it. He is all... Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
The guy who reads this on a normal basis isn't here right now. Maybe we'll bring it up for him again when he gets in here. But, you know, from what I understand, she's a very good character, and, you know, I give props to Marvel, not just making a Middle Eastern character for the sake of doing so, but they make a Middle Eastern character, and she's really interesting, she's, you know, very well written and everything, and, yeah, I dig it, so, she's pretty awesome, and if you haven't read any of her stuff, you know, feel free to do so.
So, Garrett, do you have anything to add? Because I don't.
I do not.
Okay, with that, we can wrap up viewer questions. Thank you, Adonisis, for your submission. And if you have any, and if you are out there want to submit any questions to us, feel free to do so at thetexturepop@gmail.com or send us a tweet at thetexturepop.
Links in the description.
With that said, let's begin our discussion.
So, first news story. What do you got?
Okay, so...
I would really quick like to apologize for me not really having much to add to those questions.
It's alright.
It's alright.
So I think the first big thing we can talk about is Assassin's Creed Unity. So as many of you are aware, back when we originally talked about Unity, both when Sam and I played it, we both complained that there was a system where you had to go into a companion app and play a game on your smartphone while the game was running on your console. And you were next to your console in order to unlock certain treasure chests in the game. And other treasure chests had required this initiate social networking profile.
Yeah.
That's supposed to link all of your Assassin's Creed games together.
Yep.
Now, I recap you to all of that information to talk about this news story in which the latest patch of Assassin's Creed Unity has made those entirely optional.
Yes, you don't need any of that shit to open those chests now.
Now the chests are just open.
Which is what they should have done to begin with.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And this is because, for the companion app, people were complaining a lot. Naturally, I was one of those people.
Yep.
And for the initiates profile, it actually broke down. Like, the initiates stuff was not working right with Assassin's Creed Unity, so they decided just to screw it. And they did this earlier in the previous patch, the initiate stuff, because it was just not working.
The thing about that was, it's like, it seems like the whole goal of the initiates thing was they wanted to link your progress between Assassin's Creed games, no matter what platform you're playing on. But
which you have Uplay for.
Yeah, isn't that what Uplay was? Because I installed Assassin's Creed 4 not long ago, and despite the fact...
Uplay is for all Ubisoft games.
Yeah, absolutely. Despite the fact that I played 5 previous games on my 360... When I installed AC4 into my PC, it knew that I made progress in those games, and it unlocked the costumes for the 3 previous ones, which I thought was cool. Not that I'm gonna fucking wear, some of those again. Like, Altair's costume was boring as shit compared to the other ones, but still. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of the stuff was really needless, and also, I can't help but think back to the E3 when the Xbox One and the PS4 were being talked about, and everybody was talking about, the dual screen experience and all this other bullshit and social and companion apps. It just really seems like they're starting to realize no one
TV.
really
Don't forget TV.
Yeah, but no one really cared about that. It's not really adding to the game, it's detracting from it. It's just another layer of bullshit and inconvenience for something that could, if it was just done in the game as it had been for years, it would have been fine. This
Here's
just
the thing.
makes...
I would have been fine with the companion app if I could do that in the game, and the companion app was just me being able to play that part of the game while the game's not running.
Yeah.
I would have been totally fine with that. But the way they did it was probably the shittiest possible way they could have done it with Assassin's Creed Unity. Because again, you had to have the game running or the app would not work.
Which was stupid.
Can we just stop companion apps in general?
Yes! We should stop that.
Or no, if the companion app is just like a database that you can access, like it's the same in-game database, but it's on your phone.
Like what was for Halo Reach and then Halo 4 as well, the Halo Waypoint.
Yeah,
like that was okay.
That's fine. Like
or like Mass Effect, if you want like just a codex, like.
In a general sense, I don't want to have to look at another device while I'm playing my game.
Yep.
Because that's immersion breaking. Yeah. That is. I am no longer thinking, oh, I am this assassin. Like, oh, I'm this fat ass white dude playing an assassin.
Yeah, it's like.
Fuck you for reminding me about it, Ubisoft.
Like if you want like something to go along with this, I mean, hell, it's just like it's usually for shit like if you're away from the game. So like.
Oh, hi Sam.
Hello. Continue.
To bring up the speed, we're talking about the news story that Assassin's Creed Unity's disabled the need for companion apps and initiates profiles.
Yeah?
Yeah, you don't need those anymore. The chest will now just open.
Oh, good. Just like chess should.
Sharky, continue.
But yeah, like any like companion apps, like I think of like having that shit when you're not at home playing the game even. Like you're just goofing off or something, looking at something somewhere, and like I kind of like I don't think of it as like something you have to do like a mini game for. Like I said,
I heard the Watch Dogs companion app was pretty good.
Yeah, Chris used it when I was playing Watch Dogs.
Yeah, we did that once.
I haven't used that. I need to.
It is.
Yeah, you got it.
It is online only. It is a multiplayer thing where you control like the cops and the security while you play against someone who is in the actual game.
And that's cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
it's
not
a game
bad.
you can play while away from your
like
game.
Assassin's Creed, the companion app was just shit. It was complete garbage.
Like you had to have the game running and everything. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and even in general, I couldn't get it to work on my phone, even when I had the game running. It didn't work for me. I'm not entirely sure why that was.
I mean, and not just smartphones, like just tablets. Like if you have that Wi-Fi in your home and everything, like to have to piss with that, like. And I remember how Microsoft and the Xbox One, they wanted to do all this shit. Like, oh yeah, you can have your Surface tablet open and do all this other bullshit. Like, why can't I just do this in the game? Why do I have to pull out this other expensive ass stupid thing?
Yeah, you mean Smart Glass.
Yeah,
or your Surface tablet.
Yeah,
I know Evolve launched with a companion app, but I don't remember anything it does.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Of course, Evolve.
Well, of course, it has DLC. It's got companion apps. It's a true Ubisoft game.
It's not even an Ubisoft game.
No.
That's the worst part.
But it's a true Ubisoft game.
I will say this. I do give Ubisoft props that they are smartening up to the fact that this is shit that people don't want, so they're not going to force it onto people anymore.
Yeah. So before we move on to the rest of our news story, Sam, how awesome is Kamala Khan?
Kamala what?
Ms. Marvel.
She's awesome. I like her.
We had a listener question asking how awesome she was.
Yeah, Adonis has asked that question, so since
I
Atarki tried his best, but since you're the one that actually
I know anyone who's read it.
Yes. How awesome is she?
She's a pretty cool character. And I think it's really awesome that, people who have read Miss Marvel, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this in a good way, but it's very cool that Muslim women especially have some kind of character in a comic book universe to look up to. Because Kamala is a very interesting character, and her I think Idea Channel did an episode on it about how her like ethnicity actually factors into the story and the way people treat her and such.
This is going to sound sarcastic, even though it's not. But isn't it great that there's a non-white female protagonist in something?
Yeah, and it's not just like token black character.
Again, that sounded
Something like
sarcastic, but I was deadly serious.
No, I mean it's really cool that we're getting different ethnicities out there. Because we do have the white problem with most everything being white, but it's like even people are expanding. Like you see like more black comic book characters, which I think is awesome. But then you don't really see that many like
white guy.
But you don't see like that many like Asian or Middle Eastern characters. That's why I thought it was so cool to see something like that.
That reminds
me of something.
And
she's not like stereotypically Middle Eastern or anything. Like it's just her ethnicity. It's like her culture. But it's not like the dominant thing in her life.
That actually reminds me of something of how recently they started up a new Power Ranger series called Power Rangers Dino Charge, and I guess like somebody was showing me the intro, and like of the 5 Rangers, only one of them is Caucasian. Like, actually, no, I take that back. I think 2 of them are Caucasian, and the other 3 are, like, different ethnicities. I know the leader, the red one, he's an Indian guy. I got hyped for that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
How many of them are women?
2 of them.
Cool.
One of them was African American.
Right. Well, all right. It's all like I feel like Power Rangers has been making strides in that far beyond most people.
Yeah.
Like I remember like being a kid and seeing like different ethnicity Power Rangers. We're definitely hitting that cresting point in the comic book, movie, game industry and such, where that's becoming a thing. Some people don't like it.
Games, I still think have a little ways to go, but
yeah, but people are like, we're getting to that point where people are at least recognizing it.
Yes.
Like, they're not just content with another white male character.
Yeah. But, going back to the news, the other thing that we should probably report on is that Invader Zim is making a comeback.
Yeah.
In comic book form.
By the original guy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Which is interesting.
So, Garrett, you want to talk about this, yes?
Yes.
About Invader Zim coming back as a comic book?
Yes.
Or we could just talk about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac for the next hour and a half.
I know. Well, that's what I'm going to talk about, because I am going to talk about that, because Johnny the Homicidal Maniac was the first... I got the director's cut graphic novel, and that was the first time that I was like, oh shit, Johnny Vasquez, the guy who did Invader Zim, it had the same art style, but I was like, oh, he did this first, and it was a great medium. I think now that he's also getting away from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to add a bit more of his dark. I think he's going to be able to make it dark. He's going to be able to make it his own thing. I think it's going to be a little better.
And granted,
I want to sing the Doom song. Doom, 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 doom.
Doom, doom. I think
granted,
I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait for it, and I'm really excited. It's coming back, and it's coming back as a comic book, which is really Jonin's. That's his domain.
Well, even today, Invader Zim is such a quotable series.
Yeah, and there were a few times I saw Invader Zim where I thought it was kind of fucking messed up. Like I still remember that one with the alien babies.
I remember watching the shit out of that show as a child.
Yeah.
Yep. That show's fucked, man.
It's great.
It was really good.
I loved that the same way I loved Courage.
Yeah.
Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. Both of those shows were really fucking fantastic.
Yeah, like any show with like.
Yeah, Chris, I got a lot of comics you might be
interested in. I remember Courage a bit more clearly than I do with Invader Zim.
I have Captain America, Who Will Wield the Shield: The Stunning Aftermath of Captain America Reborn, issue 1.
Oh yeah, I know it's Falcon, but yeah, from what I had read though, the first issue of Invader Zim lands this July, so.
Alrighty, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So that ends my news topics for the week. Does anyone else have anything you want to bring up?
Oh, I've got one.
Okay. We'll let Chris go and then Sam.
Sounds so confident.
So, fucking Zack Snyder revealed what they plan to have for Aquaman in the upcoming Dawn of Justice film, or Justice League, whatever the fuck they're doing. Warner Brothers, DC shit. It's just... They had the image come out for the actor...
They're just trying to do the Avengers.
Have you seen the image, Sam?
Nope.
Oh, it's in the news chat.
Oh yeah, there is a link. I've left a link in there. Yeah, so they revealed the image for what Aquaman is going to look like, which obviously they're not even going to call him that in the movie, I bet. Because why would they?
He'll be the king of Atlantis.
It's either that or they'll just fucking call him Arthur or whatever the fuck. Just, so to give my opinions on this, yeah, I think it looks like shit.
It kind of looks like so impossibly generic that I can't even tell who it is.
It just reeks of 90s. And
it looks like an Armani model.
It reminds me of the prince from Prince of Persia 2.
It looks like...
You listened to way too much Linkin Park.
Oh, the bullshit one that I can't stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of looks like that.
Who are you? I'm the Prince of Persia.
Fucking... Like, his hair looks like he hasn't washed in like a month.
So did the prince, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of like they tried to do that with Batman, and it kind of worked just because the outfit was basically the same. But with Aquaman, it's like
Batman, it works because that's like his character, that he's dark and brooding.
Yeah, he's all grimdark.
Yeah, but like,
but Aquaman's not really like.
Literally, no one else in DC canon seems to works that way.
I can't wait for like grimdark Green Lantern.
Like Superman is the paragon of all that is good. Green Lantern's a sarcastic git. Aquaman actually has a life.
Yeah, he's the king of Atlantis.
Under the sea.
I mean, I can understand if you're not going to be able to make everything about his outfit work, but come on, just look at, like, in New 52, he looks good. You know, I like how he looks there, but you can't. It's just no.
They just look at the Avengers for how to like slightly retool outfits.
Yeah, like Avengers,
but they still look like they're comic book incarnations, but something a bit more practical.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's like. I like how Movie Bob put it to where Marvel's approach with the Avengers and everything was just take the Silver Age comics with the stupid sanded off, and then there you go. And whereas
stupid off.
Yeah. Whereas with like DC and Warner Brothers, it's just let's look at what we did back in the '90s
and make it dark and gritty.
Oh God, yeah. It's like they want everyone to be Batman. Essentially, that's what they want.
I believe Movie Bob once famously said the '90s suck.
Yeah, pretty much. For very good reason, but that's a topic for another time.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't grimdark everything. It doesn't really work.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't...
Grimdark Superman. He's the Boy Scout.
Well, look at Man of Steel,
and that's why you killed a man, because he's so grimdark.
He's the Boy Scout, though. That's his entire character, is that he is the paragon of goodness and righteousness.
Again, it's like his color scheme was just damp.
With Aquaman, they were like, all right, how dark can we make this? So guy was like, I got, like, black. They're like, all right,
Aquaman's outfit is orange, for fuck's sake.
I mean, they could have done something to where, like, maybe they could have just made it, like, I don't know, maybe like a subtle kind of bronze or something. But no, instead they just give him the shitty armored look and tattoos and everything. Like, I mean,
are those tattoos or markings on his armor? I really can't tell.
Yeah, it's really stupid. There are tattoos and this armor that he's wearing, and I mean, I'm glad they didn't give him a hook hand, but it still looks like shit. I mean, I think from the waist down, the outfit probably looks better because
No, we didn't see it.
I mean, you could see like the belt buckle and stuff there, but more than likely, even though it's still in the same kind of letter A shape, they're not going to say it means Aquaman. It's probably going to say like, no, that stands for Atlantis or something. I don't give a fuck. Just
I just cannot wait for Aquaman to show up in the film and be like, "Where is he? Where's the swordfish?"
I'm just wondering what it's going to be like if this.
I want Justice League where everybody talks in Christopher Nolan Batman voice.
Oh God, you know they would too.
I'm Superman.
Even Wonder Woman's like.
You were here for
Wonder Woman also just like. Ugh.
Like a whole half of our entire pre-show was Chris being butthurt about the way that DC Comics handled their movies.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I seriously
wonder. That was like the entire pre-show of.
I seriously wonder what would happen if these Justice League movies come out and they just fucking bomb. Not that I want them to,
which they will.
I don't think.
I think they do fine.
Yeah,
if only because they're writing on the Avengers type of comic books. Not as good as Batman, but it sold.
I mean, Superman made money, but even Warner Brothers knew the way people were talking about it. That was not what the reaction they wanted. So, but I think that's kind of a tangent for another time. So,
it's I don't know. It's just weird to me because it's, like you said with Movie Bob, where they sanded off the stupid for Avengers. This one, it feels like they sanded that off, and then they sanded off the next layer of fun.
Yep.
And it's like, let's just take all the fun out of comic books and just make it as serious as possible.
Remember when fiction used to be just fun?
It's like the Avengers, I feel like, captures the fun of comics. Like, you have some
it does.
comic scenes in that film. And they acknowledge how ridiculous it is that they're people dressed up in outfits with superpowers.
Yep.
Yeah. Why can't other things just have fun with it?
Nope, fun's not possible. There's no more fun in the future.
I would just love Superman to go yes, I am dressed in spandex. Yes, it's stupid. Just go with it, please.
I decided to wear my underwear on the inside today.
So Sam, did you have something, or
I just
as far as news?
I just said I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
no.
You guys pretty you guys
so
pretty much said it all.
Thus ends our news segment.
Well, Sam, since you're here to host now, or who goes first?
Yeah, so Sam can go first.
Okay. I didn't do anything this week. I've
been working?
I've been working my current job, and then I'm also looking at an internship, so I got to submit some stuff by the end of the week, and otherwise, so now I'm just working lots more.
So how is that Sayana Uta article coming?
I tore the whole thing down. I'm rewriting it.
Actually, now that you mention it, I want to get your opinion on something while we're here, because I think I linked you to those videos, fucking Saya is getting in a fighting game.
Right, and I told you that those games have existed forever.
I had
those
no
kinds
idea.
Of games. Yeah, there's one coming to America soon. It's called Ultimate Battle Shoujo Climax or something.
Holy shit!
Yeah, but I've seen those types of games for forever, where it's let's just take all these characters, except this time it used to be a 90s anime, and now it's anime that I've actually seen. So it's here's fucking the Shana from Shakugan no Shana, and here's the girl from I Can't Believe My Sister Is This Cute, or yeah, that was a weird series.
That's the name of the series?
Here, yes, I Cannot Believe My Little Sister Is This Cute, I believe is the name of it. Or you know Emoto.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird series. But yeah, it's you just see that, and there's the girl from Muramasa, which is a famous VN. There's Saya from her own game, Saya Uta. I think it's cool, but as I expressed in the article, the only problem is with those types of games is that they don't have enough time to make every character unique, because there's 50 of them. So eventually it just kind of becomes yeah, they all have a little, they have almost a texture map of a type of move. So when I looked at Saya, it's okay, she's got zoning stuff, but it's kind of there's nothing about the sort of tentacle stuff that comes out that could just be a laser beam. And, I feel there was stuff you could have done with Saya, but it's how the fuck do you put Saya in a fighting game? I don't know.
I don't know. She starts fucking them. I just...
She puts out fruit.
They start screwing.
But it's not actually fruit.
There's a lot of sex in that game.
It's not fruit.
I can't believe that was the scene that really got you out of everything in that game.
Everything else I was oh, that's kind of fucked up. And then that scene, I'm oh no! It's not fruit!
That article's coming out later that week, so discuss that when that happens.
Alright, so is there anything else you want to speak, Sam, that's worth talking about?
Well, we finished up Interactive Friction, and by the time you hear this, the final episode for Far Cry 3 will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be moving on to something else shortly.
Get on Far Cry 4.
I was testing the game yesterday, and then I found I started playing it for about an hour because it's one of my favorite games ever. So it's kind of sitting there, and then I was wait, I can't keep playing this, or else I'm just going to be redoing the whole game over again.
Yes.
And that was on my third run save file.
And it's been a while since I touched our next game, so it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see.
So good! Such a great game.
It is a really well-made game.
Oh, it's so good. Other than that, though, man, all I've done really is just I watched a bit more anime. I'm trying to finish up a series I started months ago, and I had friends over to play Drawful again, which is from the Jackbox Party Pack, which it's basically Pictionary. So you draw your own profile picture. Of course, since I'm playing with complete awesome weeaboos, just every name and every picture is some kind of reference that I probably don't get, and it's great. But yeah, I just barely touched games this week. Like, I played like half an hour of Evil Within, and I was like, this is really cool level design, and the enemy design fucking sucks.
Well, I can tell you right now, you're not the only one.
Yeah, like, the more I play that, the more I'm just like, it's got cool environments, but like, either enemies will kill you in one hit, enemies are invincible, enemies take way too much damage, enemies are invisible. It's just like all like the wrong things that put me off of horror games. And I'm like, maybe I should just play Silent Hill 2 for once.
Oh, Silent Hill 2 is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, my best friend recently finished that, so he was like, you should play that game. And I was like, I really should play that game.
You really should play that game. You're gonna play that game.
Yeah, like I put out the Dying Light video, so I've just been working this week.
I've had those weeks before.
Yeah, I've been looking at kind of just picking at stuff a little bit, but no, I've not really done enough of a game to really talk about it.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So, Garrett.
Yeah, you've been waiting with bated breath with...
I have. A couple things. Well, I'm watching the Oscars. I'm also live tweeting the Oscars. I'm also with the podcast.
Yeah, at the time of this recording, the Oscars are still going currently.
Multitasking.
I've got the podcast open. I got my Twitter feed on half the screen, and all is on very quiet. Hopefully, you guys can't hear it. Is the Oscars going on?
Well, you know, one headphones would help that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got
it's on TV. Oh, never mind, right?
Yeah, it's on TV.
So you know what helped though, Garrett? If you have to split stuff, is get a 4K monitor.
Someone posted a picture of Alec Baldwin behind Benedict Cumberbatch and like looking at him, and it says, "I'm going to kill you, Brinder Dix Crumble Scrunch."
I was thinking there's Alec and Adam. Is that the two brothers?
Yeah, I retweeted
Alex the actor.
There are a ton of Baldwins.
Yep.
Well, there's the Baldwin that we know.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, there's Alec Baldwin, and then there's that Baldwin that's like super Christian, makes only Christian movies.
Stephen Baldwin?
No.
Yes.
I know Billy's one of them, and I couldn't tell you what he fucking looks like. Just
They all look the same.
yeah, it's.
I was talking about the one who got famous in the game industry a few months ago.
Oh, shit, I don't even know.
I thought it was Adam Baldwin.
I don't remember.
He started a particular thing you might remember. I just love how you guys.
I don't. We're just.
Oh,
Who's
no.
the guy who started Gamergate?
I don't
I
fucking
think it's Adam
know.
Baldwin.
Oh, that was a
remember-
right winger.
It's one of the brothers because I saw Alec fighting with them on Twitter like a couple weeks after that started.
I don't care.
I don't know. I was like, I just remember that there's the actor one and there's the other ones. There's the actor one I know and the other ones.
Yeah,
they're all actors.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they are. That's a family of actors.
I know one of them was in a shitty superhero animated DVD called Death and Return of Superman. It's really stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not based off the comic book of the same thing, is
No, they take liberties with it, basically.
This is Garrett's turn, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Oscars, big thing. I'm watching those. Big Hero 6. Why the fuck did that win? But at least it wasn't.
Wait a minute. What Big Hero 6 win?
Best animated film. Yeah, best animated film. I was like, I was, you know what? Like, the movie wasn't even nominated. It should have been. It should have won too.
Could have just been nominated at least. I saw the article going around. I don't think it was one of you guys who posted on Twitter. That was like, it went in like did interviews with the people who did the nominations for the best animation, and most of them like didn't know what the hell animated films were.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah.
The Oscars
Or, like, they just
notorious
don't
for
care.
being this old man party where only a group of like crotchety old men are the ones that decide, oh, this is the best movie because I say it is.
Which is why you don't really see like very artsy films
mean,
or high concept stuff.
I mean, as much as
there was a poll this year asking how many movies out of the ones nominated for Best Picture did you see, just to a group of random Americans, and 2/3 of the polled populace didn't see any of the movies nominated for Best Picture this year.
Wow. I mean, and I'll say this: as much as I loved Big Hero 6, I will say even that's kind of bullshit that it gets Best Animated Movie over something like, I don't know, Book of Life, which I heard was really good.
I heard Book of Life was really good.
Yeah, like
I'm just glad it wasn't Box Trolls. I went and saw Box Trolls and was severely disappointed by that. When I heard it was nominated, I was like, shitting me?
Apparently, I don't see that many movies because I don't know.
I see too many movies.
The Imitation Game was a good movie.
Imitation Game's fucking.
Oh
yeah.
That does remind me of like the one fucking thing I did this week.
And so is Birdman. Birdman's absolutely fantastic too.
Yeah.
What did you do this week?
When I was hanging out with the friends, I was saying the one thing I actually did was, before the last guy came over, we put up, I can't believe I forgot the name of the director. This guy who has directed a whole bunch of really depressing films called Voices of a Distant Star, or Heart, I think it is. 5 centimeters per second. The Place We Promised in Our Early Days, and then we watched The Garden of Words. And it's like basic plot being like a guy and a woman always meet up at the same sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Cabana or something like that when it rains out. And it's just like a 46-minute thing about like starts out with her saying, "Well, I don't go to my job when it rains," and he's going like, "Well, I don't go to school when it rains." And they just start talking. They never learn each other's names. And of course, like all of this guy's movies, it always ends up the same way, where it's like they start a relationship and it always fails in every single movie he does. But it is like very, very well directed, and the backgrounds are incredible. Like, I'll send you guys some screenshots, because there was a point a few months ago on 4chan where people were just showing off pictures of like great anime, and some guy took a screenshot of a picture on a cell phone on a bed that was in the movie, and they were like, "Fuck you, that's like an actual phone." It's like, no, it's just hand drawn.
Wow.
I gotta go find that, but it's a fantastic film, and I can't remember the director's name. I might tell the brand later for the annotations, but check out Voices of a Distant Star or 5 centimeters per second. They're all really great tragic love stories.
All right.
Nice.
So back to Garrett.
Yes.
Birdman just won for best cinematography. Anyway, so enough of the Oscars.
It's like one shot, isn't it?
Yeah, enough of the Oscars. I had an entire week off from school thanks to the weather.
Wow.
It hasn't been that bad around here, but it's getting kind of bad.
Like,
It wasn't even that bad, but yeah, it wasn't even that bad. But school's like, we have to cancel, and it canceled.
Like, how much? Like, did you get a lot of snow, or?
Yeah, we got like 2 inches.
You've getting some snow over in these parts as well.
Yeah, but I live down south, and people can't drive for shit in the weather. So.
Yeah.
I mean, people can't drive.
Yeah,
for shit.
you Southerners.
Periods. Yeah. So
Your
when you add
fear of cold weather.
Yeah, like people can't drive for shit down here. So when you add weather, they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
God, what do I do?"
We had school off. Well, not we, because I don't go to school. But the high school people that I work with had school off for, it was like 20 degrees out, a little bit of ice. Eventually, they just didn't go to school because it was too cold. It was like 10 degrees. It was too cold. Didn't go to school.
Oh, brr.
I just thought I'd tell you guys that, because I'm sure that
Well,
Chris and Brandon would be like, "Fuck you."
I
Well,
went to school and it was 8 degrees outside.
I will say that there was some time ago, I think it was a few weeks ago, at one point, it was like fucking -2 one morning.
Yeah, we didn't have it off, but we had a dress warmly advisory.
Well, and the thing was, like, it was -2 around where I live, and basically they had canceled mostly because of that, and I had somebody explain it to me why, simply because there are a number of kids that have to wait at bus stops. So having to wait at bus stops when it is -2, yeah, fuck that.
That's not safe.
No.
It's not safe for the kiddies.
Because you can get frostbite with 15 minutes of exposure.
Oh, yeah. So, totally see why canceling school is a good idea on that one.
Yeah, and while school was canceled, I went and picked up that book I was going to get, Good Omens.
Ooh.
Neil Gaiman.
How far have you read
Terry
it?
Pratchett. I'm about 100 pages in, and it's really good. It's really good. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's instead of aliens, if Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was about like demons, that's pretty much what it is. It's really well done.
That actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And then let's see. I also was hanging out with some friends. We were playing a ton of Smite. They updated their. They had a pretty big visual update to a couple of things, and it's not bad. It looks really good. Smite's still fun. Played a lot of League of Legends with my friends, which was a lot of fun. Went into a game. We lost because my friend wasn't doing too good, but I went. I had like 14 kills and 2 deaths. At one point, I was 12 kills with 0 deaths. I was destroying people as Gnar in top lane. That was a lot of fun. And then we set up teams. We played against each other, and it's like I'm actually playing League a lot more now for just the funsies. I'm not playing it to be for all seriousness. It's just a game I kind of play to goof around with my friends. I noticed I've gotten a lot better.
That's a better way to play it.
You're saying League isn't always for the funsies?
Not always. Sometimes you play and you're like,
This is about the hardcore.
I have to win. The fate of the universe.
We are hardcore video gamers.
I'm the best gamer.
Everything banks on this game. But no, like when you play it just for fun, it's like you don't care. It's fun.
Yes, that's how video games really are. Like I love it.
What a novel concept is playing video games for fun.
I mean, it's not even just you, Garrett. Like, my friend who plays League all the time came to that revelation at one point about how much that game was like that, where it's like, it's a miracle to have fun playing League. Like, you just get so fucking aggressive and invested in it.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you shouldn't be playing it then.
It's like, no, I have to. It's fun. It's just I want to win.
It's angrily fun.
Actually released a memo, the League developers, talking about how irresponsible it is for parents to take their kids off League while they're in the middle of a game.
Yeah,
it's like, Billy, it's dinner, but I'm playing League, and apparently it's bad that the parent reminded them that it's dinner time.
So, God damn it, I'm playing League. Yeah, like that's how we Leaguers get our sustenance. We don't need food.
It's so disrespectful to the rest of the people playing League that they're down one man for the rest of the game. Like, dude, get over yourself.
No, that does that
video game.
No, that does suck, and it could be in any video. It could be in any video game.
It's
like when you're down a person.
Such is life.
It's like you can wait till the game's over and then go get your food. Don't start up another game afterwards. That's shitty.
Wow.
It does, but such is life. Life is you gotta get over yourself. The world doesn't revolve around you and your game.
I don't know. I'm always like unless if I just started up, I'm like, oh, this sucks. I don't know what to do. But if I'm like halfway through, I'm like, I'm gonna finish this game real quick, and then yes, I will stop.
So Garrett, real quick. Well, so Best Picture probably hasn't come up yet.
No, not yet.
So I'm curious what your prediction is on that one.
That's a good one. I'm thinking Birdman. I'm thinking Birdman's going to win.
Well,
was it nominated?
Look at the bright side. If you're wrong, no one's going to know about it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Birdman. I don't know though. There are a couple of really good nominations. This is my want for the I'm trying to think for best original score. It needs to go to Hans Zimmer for Interstellar. I will not. I will. No. It needs to go to Hans Zimmer for Interstellar. It needs to. Oh, they're doing the In Memoriam.
I haven't seen other films, but when I saw Interstellar, I thought it was good, but not mind blowing to me.
No, it was. I didn't think it was mind blowing either. I thought it was really. I thought it was.
I mean, I guess that's the question of best score. Is it the best score on its own, or is it supposed to be best score as it relates to the film? Because it's very it's good with the film. I'm just not sure how much it stands on its own.
I would say I would say even on its own, if it's something that you could listen to and kind of lose yourself to it.
But is it the best is what I'm asking. I wonder if there are other scores that are better on their own but may not be as good with the film. And it's I don't know how they judge best score.
The Sky says it is. The Old Man from Up High in the Oscar booth.
That is a good point.
I have no idea how they judge those.
The score for Interstellar, if it didn't have that score, I don't think the movie would have been as good as it was. Because I was watching Interstellar and I was blown away, and it was mainly by the score.
That's what I said about Sayonota. It's very rare that a piece of media is crippled without its music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my god, and just the music would pump and it'd get heavy, and then all of a sudden it would just
there's
silence because it would cut to outer space and there's no sound in space. I'm like,
I was gonna say I would love to spoil something that's a third of the way through the film. There's a really good point where I don't think it's much of a spoiler. There's a point in the film where he's looking at footage of his kids talking to him, while he's out in space, and there's a great track that plays in the background of that.
Yes, there was so many good parts in that movie. Yeah. I love the cornfield chase where they're chasing down that little flyer drone, and he's like, son, take the wheel. And they're driving through the corn, and he's like, look, you gotta go this way. And that movie's
my dad hated it because he didn't get it. I was like, I thought it was good.
My mom wants to see it, and I'm afraid that might pop up too. She'll be like, I don't get what the fuck is going on.
I had to explain black holes to him, and I was like, that's a bit of a phenomenon that's hard to explain.
Yeah.
I still kind of
I like it a lot.
I still kind of remember hearing about it and just thinking, this is basically if somebody is talking and explaining sex while you're doing it, but I don't know. Just
I went and saw an IMAX too, so that was good. Ron Williams popped up. I figured he would. I was waiting.
Weird. There's just like no context for this.
Oh, hey, Ron Williams. No, but yeah,
Texture pop out of context Oscars.
They're doing the in memoriam, and H.R. Geiger popped up. I was like, oh, that's right, he did die.
Yeah,
that sucks. And then Ron Williams. I was just waiting for Ron Williams to pop up. They put him in a weird place. They put him like in the middle.
Anyway, any non-Oscar related stuff?
Yes. I got all of my games downloaded, and we've been running through and playing a bunch of stuff, which is really cool. I'm finally going to be able to play Evil Within on my own computer, so that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Get that. You play on the PC version, you can turn off letterboxing and turn it up 60 FPS.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I was playing it recently, I turned on the letterboxing again, and I can't remember what other game I was playing, but I discovered that you have like a vertical FOV sort of sickness, where like it's just so narrow from top to bottom that it makes me ill.
Yeah.
Well, the Order
games like The Order
problem.
can fuck right off because I can't play them.
We already talked about The Order earlier in the viewer questions.
But like that was something that someone brought up, like even before The Order came out, was like this idea of like it's
cinematic.
But even beyond the cinematic stuff, the idea that you're not really standing to gain new people playing it because of that, and you only stand to lose people like me who get sick from things like that.
Yep.
Like just have the option to turn it off. I didn't care if it's like
render.
But it's like if there was an option of like turn it off, render at 720p or something like that. I'd be like, fine. At least I don't get sick looking at it. Oh god.
Are you suggesting that console games have like graphics options in them?
Yes.
No.
The Last of Us Remastered.
No,
option.
we could never do that. That would be too hard.
Well, Last of Us, what was it that they changed? Because it's 3060.
You can enable or disable frame capping at 30.
Yeah, but I believe if it's 30, it has anti-aliasing on, and I believe it's like MLA anti-aliasing or something like that. And if you turn it off, there's no AA, which is like the PS3 version. It just means there's jagged edges everywhere. Like that was the way they decided to do it, and I was like, that'd be awesome if you could just like frame cap stuff and just like it would just automatically change one setting that they deemed was the best one. Generally, probably just like resolution or something.
Yeah,
like, that'd be fantastic.
It would be nice, but consoles are wont to do that.
And also, you order black bars.
Yeah.
And then I also got the Sandman Prelude. I got issue 4 finally. Was able to get that.
Sandman has his own comic?
Yeah, Sandman's got it was the graphic novel, like the big comic series by Neil Gaiman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And now there's the Prelude. It's it's basically like a prequel. And one last thing. This has been bothering me all week to the point where I could not wait until this podcast happened. We all know about Colin Lykov, Kitty 0706.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It was January 25th was when he passed. I knew about that, obviously, like everyone did, and I was like, oh, that really sucks. And then for some reason recently I saw one of his videos in my recommendation box. And I was like, I might as well watch it, and I watched it. And I was like, oh shit, I've actually seen this. I saw it a year ago. It was his Team Fabulous 2 video. It was really good. But this time when I watched it, I felt really bad because all I could think about was what happened. And then I watched a tribute video, and it just kind of went downhill from there, and I got really sad and depressed. I got really sad and depressed for a week straight.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting over it. And yeah, that was... And I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys are my friends, and I really do enjoy our company, and I like hanging out with you guys, and you mean a lot to me. So
thank you.
I just wanted to say that on air, because that really, like, I downloaded all of my games on Steam because I was thinking, I was like, well, he played Steam the most, so I have to do this like to honor him or something like weird. I felt really weird.
To be fair, a PC gamer not liking Steam is not that uncommon in the modern day.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know, like, it really messed me up, and I felt really bad, and I had to always have something downloading on Steam and stuff like that. So
I mean, I know I had I kind of took it really to heart after Ryan Davis passed away, who was one of my favorite writers and editors at that time, and You know, it was. I mean, I loved watching a number of videos and the various quick looks that he was on, and it was like, I was never going to be able to look at him the same way again. I mean, I still watch some of. I'll go back to like some of the stuff that he's done today, but yeah, I hear you. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember having that moment when Mitch Lucker of Suicide Silence passed, because he was like, I love that guy. I read interviews about him all the time and learned about, the struggles he went through and how he had this weird thing where he was in such a heavy band that nobody knew, like, what his lyrics were about, and it was a lot about how he smoked pot and hated it because he had a young daughter and he didn't want her to see that about him. And then, like, that happened. I just remember, like, listening to Suicide Silence all the time for, like, weeks after that.
Yeah.
And I still have the autographed poster with his signature on it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Let's get everybody to sign it. That was one of the last concerts they played. It was in Masquerade. Hell of a time.
Yeah.
All right, so Garrett,
yeah,
is there...
I'm pretty much done.
Cool.
Wait,
That's
so
about it.
Chris, do you want to go or should I?
So I hadn't really been playing too much other than, fucking Brandish Dark Revenant, which I talked about last week. That's really like the only other thing I've really been playing. Not really much else I can say about it, except I've just gotten deeper in the shit. And
is there any more like story more developing, or is it like straight old school dungeon crawler in that there's like only a thread of story through the whole thing?
there's really only like so much story throughout the whole thing. It's
okay.
I mean, I think it's all the better for it. I mean, as far as RPGs go, yeah, this is one that feels like it is a video game, and it video games the hell out of itself. And it's like the thing, and something I was talking about earlier, just real briefly, was that sometimes I'll have the hot moment, and I just pull out my PSP, and like, yeah, man, I'm gonna see if I can make some more progress in this, do a couple more floors. Like, times I'll do like multiple floors in one sitting. I feel really awesome, but there are times when it's like, as I mentioned before, you can make your own checkpoints, and you totally should. Not all the time, but make them
Regularly.
There will be times where it's like I'll clear half of a floor, die, then realize I didn't lay any retry bread down. I gotta start all the way back to the beginning of the fucking floor. And it's nobody's fault
And
but
it's
my
your
own.
own fault.
Yeah, it's nobody's fault but my own, and that's just what makes me turn the motherfucker off. And then 1 hour later,
and you leave.
Then 1 hour later, I
turn it back on.
Yeah, 1 hour later, I pick it back up. It's like I'm like, hey, let me try that again.
Oh, Brandish, I can't stay mad at you, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's a good fucking game. But I mean, that's really the only thing that I've been playing. As far as some other stuff that I did a little bit of thrifting, and this is something I don't normally do. Like sometimes.
What?
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I think that.
Yeah.
All that ever comes to mind now.
I remember paying a few visits to a local Goodwill, because sometimes you can get lucky going in those places, like a Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever you have in your neighborhood. It is a roll of the dice sometimes. Something that I do see often is like I'll see like old sports games. Like here's fucking Madden 99 for PS1. Like I've
got a copy of like Madden 98 or something for the N64. Something weird.
Like I'd gone in there. Something I actually did on a recent haul. Let me pull these out. Something I did recently. Like these were PC games, and I found like you find these like. If you go to a Goodwill, you find them mixed in with like the music CDs, or in some cases, like if you go by the books, or just wherever they have them. And like in a recent haul, I found a PC copy of the Spider-Man movie game, which actually featured Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe in the game.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah.
That's the one with Bruce Campbell narrating the beginning, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He narrates the tutorial.
Yeah.
It is the first game, so it is the first game. So it like comes on 2 discs. I actually got it running on my laptop, which is on Windows 7. It's crazy, and like I love how I went into the control options for it. It's like control options. You want the preset for Microsoft Sidewinder? Remember those things?
Yeah. The hot Sidewinder input.
I still have the PS2 version of that game in my library.
I have the GameCube version of it, but it's a good game. So I got that. a fucking PC copy of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
Yeah, it's a fucking awesome Need for Speed game.
This is rocking it out back to 2002. Again,
I played the shit out of the PS2 version with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that game was great.
Yeah, I got it to run on my Windows 7 laptop. Something I haven't installed yet. Oh, by the way, each one of these costs $2 a piece. $2, and I was really glad, like, because I'd gone to Goodwill before and I'd found stuff that like it was just super scratched up and I couldn't even buy it. But these were actually all in really good condition. Other one I found, not the only one I got that was not in a jewel case, Sid Meier's Railroads, in a box with its manual and original CD, and it's not scratched or anything. I was like, I don't normally buy games like this, but fucking Sid Meier game for $2 in the box and everything. Hell yeah, I'm buying this.
You should send a picture of that and then send a tweet to Lazy Game Reviews.
You're probably selling on eBay for more than you got it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was thinking about doing that. One thing I did do, I tweeted
love
it.
That.
Yeah, and I did tweet this, was when at that very same trip I had noticed they had a fucking jewel case copy of Baldur's Gate 2: Shadows of AMN. Yeah, just sitting there
Baldur's
for $2.
Shadows of Am.
Yeah, Shadows of
Baldur's
AMN.
Gate fucking 2.
Yep.
God damn.
They had that sitting there, and I took a picture of it and tweeted it. I was like, the things people give away, like.
You should have added me to that tweet just to rub that salt in there.
I fucking did.
Let Brandon remember his favorite game ever. I can't remember. Was that the old podcast where you talked about playing Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like ages ago. You were
that
playing
was the progenitor to this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking about that podcast the other day. Stupid shit we talked about.
Oh god, yeah.
How as if we've evolved from that.
It's got so much better.
It's
got so much better.
So something else I did on my thrifting was I'd stopped at a local pawn shop. Again, it's a roll of the dice. Sometimes you find some nifty stuff. Sometimes you don't. I mean, at least there, it was like I found like they were selling like they had just a basket of fucking Genesis cartridges sitting there. I was just looking through those, like, oh man, like there's some dumb shit in there as well as some decent ones. Like, for some reason, like they had some Nintendo cartridges and a fucking original cartridge of Punch-Out.
Wow.
But
we are all now super nostalgic.
But the thing was, as I had noticed on there, it was Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream. It was not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yeah.
Was that like a reissue thing they did?
I think so.
Or was that the sequel or something like that?
No, it was basically a reissue because Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream are the same game. It's just they replaced the final boss. Instead of Mike Tyson, is this made-up character called Mr. Dream, who has the exact same move set and everything. He just looks different. And a lot of that was mostly because of whatever licensing issues that just fell through, and either, Nintendo didn't care for Mike Tyson for whatever his image was like at the time. So,
yeah.
But it was kind of interesting just to see a copy of that, in a pawn shop somewhere, I mean... That's
pretty cool.
I did pick up a few things when I was there. I picked up a Xbox 360 copy of The Club, which was like $6. Oh yeah.
Dude, I was looking at old Game Trailer reviews like a few weeks ago, and I came across that, and I was like, I fucking remember when that game came out!
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh my god, it was like a big deal. Everybody's like, The Club is like the new shit.
But
I have like years of backlogs of GamePro, and I'm pretty sure I remember that review.
Yeah.
I remember GamePro. I have like a stack of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to do a video when I get.
I gave a lot of them away to other places, but I still have a stack of the ones that I remember the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to, like a video thing for all those articles I have.
I mean, The Club, for whatever it's worth, I remember this being like a fun arcadey game that I thought was kind of sweet. So for $6,
it's not worth like. Yeah, it's not worth $60, but for $6,
no,
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an afternoon of fun right there.
And I also picked up a PS3 copy of the Toy Story 3 video game, and it was $10. And I was glad to see the disc was in as good condition as it was, because, the pawn shop being what it was, it's not like they keep the discs somewhere else. Like, they actually have the discs inside the cases and stuff, like, right there. I mean, and the disc was in good condition, but the case wasn't. The case was really fucked up and it was broken, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this game since it's $10, and I'm gonna replace the disc. And what I ended up doing, here's a tip for all you thrifters and everybody collectors at home, is that so when you buy a game and
it's a Game Pro tip.
Yeah, so when you buy a game and you want to replace the case on it, what you do is, go to maybe like a local GameStop or something, or maybe anywhere else where you can get games super cheap. So in this case, I wanted to get a new PS3 case, right? To replace the Blu-ray case. Mm-hmm. And I went to GameStop, and, they still got, their bargain bin there for, because they're trying to unload, the shitty PS3 and 360 games that nobody buys. And as well as, a number of things that, nobody cares for. And what I ended up doing was I found a PS3 copy of the AC/DC Live Rock Band track pack for 99 cents.
Put that on your shelf.
Oh, for 99 cents?
Yeah, for 99 cents. It is a fucking track pack.
Nice.
This retail...
So you throw away the disc and use the case?
Yeah, basically. Well, I didn't throw the disc away. It is now a coaster, but exactly
what you need to do with AC/DC track.
That is ghetto.
The paper... The paper insert and whatever bullshit they put inside, I just threw away, and then I replaced the Toy Story case with that one. So now... But that is what you do. If you find a good game, but the case is shit, just look for, some shit game that is being sold off. Or, I did that once. One time, I bought a bunch of shitty games just because I wanted the cases, and they were, under, $5 each. Fucking Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, just for the 360 case, and, fucking Dark Sector, which was, $2. And
I remember Dark Sector.
Yep.
I have 2 copies of that game, actually. I have a PS3 copy and a PC copy. The PC
one of those
copy...
games that looked like it could have been good, but just wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting enough to play through the one time.
And then those people made Warframe.
For $5.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Which is great. But like I said, I bought some of that stuff. I even, and this is going to sound weird, I even went and bought, some cheap games that I kind of wanted to hold on to. A PS3 launch game called Genji Days of the Blade.
I have
the giant enemy crab.
It was.
I have that game too, dude. I tried playing it the other week.
It was $3. I was like, "Yep."
That's about as much as
nice.
This was going on my shelf.
Back its weak point for massive damage.
Yeah, whenever you play that, Chris, you should tell me, and I'll try to play it with you.
What, Genji?
Oh god, have you guys?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the what's on the Humble Bundle right now?
No.
The Square Enix
No.
bundle?
Isn't it Square Enix games or?
I feel like they do that once a month, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, the Humble Bundle is actually really good. Oh yeah, now it is Square Enix games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also going to say, speaking of box art, you just reminded me of an old website that I used to use back in the PS2 days called VG Box Art, where I'd actually try to print out the box art and replace it. Does it really work with not a great printer?
No.
Because you don't get the right effect of paper. But I remember I replaced my Resident Evil 4 paper that had none, because it was GameStop, the generic box art. So I had to replace Resident Evil 4, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, and Xenosaga Episode 1.
Oh, man.
Oh, Xenosaga, man. That was a good game.
I need to play it again, because I tried it, and I was like,
You mean the movie?
RPGs are hard.
There's a lot of story there that you have to
If
parse
only they
through.
would just remaster for the PS3, and I wouldn't have to fucking hook up my PS2 and all the.
You just put the whole trilogy in the PS3. There's the petition out now called Project Zohar for that exact purpose.
Yeah. Just put it on even just PS2 classics on my PS3, so I don't have to hook up my goddamn PS2 to play Xenosaga.
I would pay for an HD remaster of the entire trilogy. I would pay for that.
I've heard great things about it. This is a cult following kind of thing.
I love that.
I just know the
cutscenes
cutscenes are really fucking long.
They
It's
are.
like Metal Gear Solid, just
Yep.
fucking sit
it
down
totally
and grab a
is.
soda.
It
Yep.
totally is Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god.
Because what was it? Oh, Game Trailers did the review of Episode 3, and they were talking about that. Also, apparently they censored a lot of stuff in the American versions of all these games.
Well, that
as far as
doesn't surprise me.
blood and such.
Probably.
Well, it's kind of weird because that's not really something you do anymore. That just felt like a remnant of Final Fantasy 1, where you couldn't have churches. Like, they feel like the last like vestiges of like censoring games as you bring them over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. But what's funny, like...
Holy hell, Namco made those RPGs, I remember now.
Yeah, they did.
Namco Bandai.
The funny thing about Genji was, like, one of the big reasons I got that, aside from how cheap it was, I still own my PS2 copy of, I think it's Way of the Samurai or something, like, the original Genji game that they made on PS2.
Yes, I played that as well.
Yep, I still have that.
Oh, and by the way, Sam, back when episodes 1 and 2 of Xenosaga Saga were out, they were just Namco. That was before Namco Bandai.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm looking at VG box art, and it's because it's the fan remakes of all the box covers. They say Bandai Namco on them.
Also, another cheap-ass game, as I was looking through the bargain bin, that I decided to, like, not just rip out for the case, but I decided to keep in my collection, is fucking SOCOM 4 for PS3.
Yeah, I played that as well. It's a pretty good SOCOM game.
Yeah, it was $5.
Yeah, it's...
Like,
whatever.
this was actually decent enough to where it's like, okay. And then, of course, the bad part about, buying some of these, especially from GameStop, is, like, at least, like, when I went to the fucking pawn shop in Goodwill, they just have the little-ass rectangular price tag sticker on it, the generic. You just take that off and you're fine. Fucking GameStop, though. Fucking GameStop, you go there and it's, like, especially, like, stuff they've had there for a while, they are just tons and tons of price tags that are just fucking caked on.
Like, return, brought back, return, brought back.
Oh, man, I hate those. I hate those price tags.
So, folks, collectors out there, make sure you have a bottle of Goo Gone to get that shit off, because otherwise you're just going to have your cases fucking sticking together even after you peel that off. It's a nightmare.
I'm looking at box covers, and now I feel like I really need to leave and go buy a copy of Tales of Vesperia. Because I never finished that game.
I think I have that downloaded on my 360.
It's been so long.
I borrowed my friend's copy for like months. There was a great OVA that actually explained like Flint and Yuri's relationship beforehand. It's like an hour and a half long. It's pretty cool.
Been so long. It's been so long since.
Is it wrong that I thought the wolf would talk?
I don't remember the wolf. Like I do, but I don't. Like the last guy I remember getting was the samurai guy. Was the last dude I paired up with.
Am I even thinking of the right one? I don't know. I remember the dog that had like the stick in his mouth or a cigar or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, that's Yuri's friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's his animal compatriot.
He was purple.
Yeah,
I think.
He had like a scar on his face because
yeah. Am I wrong for thinking that thing would talk?
It's anime, so yeah, it probably should have.
It didn't though.
So Chris, what else did you do this week?
So other than that, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a minute. Well, maybe not.
Let me just give you a soapbox real quick. Oh, I took it
back. The
Panic
Panic Sharky soapbox.
Oh, man. Well, actually,
Chris on it.
This probably isn't so much of a soapbox thing, but it's like, I want to ask you guys, what is the last really good controller you remember using?
The Xbox One controller.
The PS4 controller.
Because it's way fucking better than the 360 controller.
Likewise, the PS4 to the PS3.
Oh, it's gonna suck when I get a PS4. Like, I tried going back and playing Gears of War Judgment
PS4
Friday night.
controller is so much better than the PS4.
God, this 360 controller sucks compared to the new one.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I still... I still wish we could get fucking 6 face buttons on a controller instead of just 4.
I don't honestly care.
I feel like we kind of hit almost the perfect point of like just ergonomics and what the fingers can handle.
The 360 controller is really good for what a lot of games do, but fighting game guy like myself, like I'm just I want fucking 6 on the face, I mean, granted, there are some games where that's not always a big deal. Like King of Fighters only uses 4 buttons. Fucking Injustice or Mortal Kombat is only like 4. Maybe 5 if you're blocking, but still, it's like, it's just, I wish I could just have like 6 of them kind of lined up right there. And speaking of controllers, there are some times where I feel like I've bought some and I feel like I made a mistake, because...
like third-party stuff, you mean?
Not entirely. I mean, so I bought a Mortal Kombat Classic arcade stick for my PS3, and
I remember those.
Yeah, this is one where it's like the arcade sticks are made to look like the old-style Mortal Kombat arcade cabinets. Here's the problem, though. That really works for Mortal Kombat, but sometimes not even then. and you wish the buttons were closer. Because, just fucking Google image it. I mean, you've got those 5 face buttons that are spaced out, and you got that one fucking run button down there for if you're playing Mortal Kombat 3, and who the hell does that? And it's just... I remember I made the mistake of trying to use that, I'm going to use this as my arcade stick for my PS3 fighting games. Try playing King of Fighters or fucking Street Fighter on that. You will hate yourself. It's just... The buttons are fucking so spread far apart. I'm like, nope, I need a standard 8-button laid across the face, not this shit. This is just... Oh, holy god. This is just too far apart. It's not too bad when playing Soul Calibur with it. But Soul Calibur is... Yeah.
Since we're talking about
I love how
controllers,
Sam is flooding the...
well, since we're talking about controllers, it just reminded me of the Hatsune Miku Project Diva F official controller.
What?
Is fucking dumb looking.
And it's $200.
Oh my god!
That's import price, baby.
Whew. I mean, I've paid a good amount of money for arcade sticks, but...
I mean, if you look at it, though, it's a PS3 controller.
Really?
It has a D-pad, it has 2 sticks, and it has X, square, triangle, and circle buttons.
How big is it?
The dimensions are listed, 14 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches deep. So it's a little over a foot long. And almost a foot tall.
5.
I don't... Oh,
It's
man.
I just love looking at that, because it's like, why? Like, the PS3 controller is not great. Like, I went into a forum at one point where people were talking about the best controller to play Project Diva F with. And they were like, the PS3 controller sucks, the buttons are too mushy.
Isn't it just a fucking music rhythm game?
It is,
Yes.
but it's a Japanese one, so it gets
Jesus.
stupid intense on extreme.
Oh,
It's a
God.
Japanese one, so...
Yeah. I've had problems with the PS3 version as far as, because the PS3 controller has the pressure-sensitive buttons, or at least they have a lot of give, even if they're not pressure-sensitive anymore, compared to, the Vita.
Right.
So, it creates problems. Not $200 related problems.
Kind of the reason I even brought up this tangent was I had recently seen, some of the promotional... the controllers are making for Mortal Kombat X.
Not 10. X.
Yeah, X. I kind of dig the fact that they're not just going full tilt of make another fucking arcade stick, but just a simple fight pad, and it's got 6 buttons laid out across the face. Although the weird thing about it is the asymmetrical design. If you look it up, one side... Did Garrett step away? Or... Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But if you look at this thing, if you just Google Mortal Kombat X fight pad, you'll see what I'm talking about. To where the side where the D-pad is on the left is the handle of it is bigger, and then on the side where the face buttons are, there's next to no handle on it. It's just I don't get the reasoning behind that, but it's not the first controller I've seen like that.
It's probably just an ergonomics thing, I guess, but I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I am interested to play a fighting game with that thing just to see what it's like.
Ew.
Brandon's probably looked at it.
I just saw it.
Yep.
Ew.
You can use that on your
Ew.
Kind of looks like a Chinese import controller or something.
Ew.
Brandon's...
Ew. Hey.
I don't want to look at it.
Don't you want to hold it?
No. That looks uncomfortable.
You could totally play Final Fantasy X with that.
You only need 2 buttons in the directional pads to play Final Fantasy X.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, I still want to get one of those, mostly because of the fact of that'd be really cool to use on my PC, I think. Because it is... granted, I have fight pads already, but I fucking want to try that one. Especially because it would... Like I said, that thing will work on... they have an Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PC version, and then there is the version that will work on both PS4 and PS3. Which I think is good.
Yeah, I remember the Skullgirls people found out the driver to make PS3 controllers
right.
with PS4, and I believe they said they just open sourced it.
Yeah.
They did,
Rightfully
yeah.
so. Because as much money as you put into an arcade stick, especially if you're somebody that really gives a shit about your arcade sticks, then yes, it is a big investment. And it's shit.
You probably also, if you're really into it, you probably custom made it with its own gates and buttons.
Yeah. You can,
I know people get really technical about the gates, like you want like your quad gate or your octa gate.
Square gate. Fuck.
Oh, I like the quad gate. Sounds fun.
Square.
Nope. Nope. Is it called the octagate though, or is it just the octagon gate?
I don't know
or is
exactly.
it the multi-sided gate? Is it the fuck you, we're playing Virtua Fighter gate?
Yeah, basically.
That's the only game I can think of where you need that. It's like, fuck you, we're playing Virtua Fighter,
Yep.
sit down.
Basically. Oh man, I don't want to play Virtua Fighter.
Just play some Virtua Fighter.
Oh yeah.
So,
Other than that, I guess I don't know. I still want to get one of those controllers, even before it's not going to be out until like April, but still, I'm looking forward to trying one of those. And that's pretty much my week, as uneventful as it's been.
Yeah,
for being uneventful, we sure did talk a lot, though.
Yeah. So Brandon.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So I have been doing a lot of game playing this week.
Oh,
So
Brandon,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance.
I have to get up in the morning for work.
Okay, first things first. Shortly after Sam and I finished recording Interactive Friction, Amazon had a sale that has Far Cry 4 for half off on all major systems.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
So I bought Far Cry 4 for half off on the PS4.
And we're not playing that for Season 2, just so you know. Because I'm not going back to Far Cry for a little
damn
while.
it.
Yeah, it needs a bit of a break.
I just don't want to look at that game again. And be like,
But I was impressed how remarkably short Far Cry 4 was compared to Far Cry 3. I finished it in like 20 minutes.
ha ha. That's because you were a good little boy and you just sat down. Didn't move. Didn't tell you to move.
I do love how that ending blatantly spoils everything, and they're not even ashamed to do that. That's really bold.
That's just the kind of thing that it feels like people would just, like, developers would talk about, and they'd be like, that's a funny idea, and then somebody actually did it, and they're like, oh, okay.
It's
I
a
guess
great
that's-
idea, though. I love it.
It is a great
I wish
idea.
more games had alternate endings like that.
Yeah, but real talk. I am like 22 hours into this game.
Sounds alright.
70% complete according to the progress tracker.
You doing all the side stuff, I guess?
Yes, I guess.
Well, you might as
Do you
well. I
have
mean,
do you have the Herc pack or Herc or
I
whatever the hell his
do.
name is?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was
Ubisoft,
DLC.
Can we please talk about this collectible nonsense?
I mean, that's probably one of the better games of it, just because it's so easily marked. But
Yeah.
I did it once.
150 propaganda posters.
I got
Oh,
all
man.
of them.
Seriously,
Oh.
150.
Yeah, what I
Ooh.
did was
Why,
one night I
Ubisoft?
booted up the Giant Bomb video about Drew going to North Korea. It was about 2 hours, 40 minutes long, and I collected propaganda posters the whole time.
yeah, that seems like.
That was after I beat the game, so I just went in the buzzer and just flew around and collected posters.
And I'm not talking about this. I mean, you heard us talk about Far Cry 3 because it's basically Far Cry 3 but better.
Yep, in every way.
That's what I hear.
Although one thing I found that's getting a little annoying is that I will fast travel to an outpost. I will mark a collectible to go pick up, and then as I am running, your outpost you just left is under attack. You had to go back and do some fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just because of the whole fortress mechanic, where until you take down the fortress, you'll be constantly under attack.
It just makes you want to go, you know what? Go fuck yourselves.
I mean, nothing goes wrong if you don't help them.
And that's
It's
why I
just-
eventually just stopped doing it. But it's still annoying that you just take away my marker and I have to go put it on again because I don't want to deal with your bullshit again for the umpteenth time.
Like, oh,
Like
no.
I've already maxed out both my karma and experience. I can no longer level up. But I still have skills that haven't been unlocked yet, so I'm just waiting for them to unlock before I can invest in them.
Yeah, I think I leveled up everything, and I still have leftover points.
Yeah.
Just keep leveling forever.
But yeah, one of the other things I noticed that they give you in really early in the game this grenade launcher at the sidearm.
Yep.
And once you
And
get
that's
that,
the only
there
thing you'll
is
ever use.
nothing you will ever. Yeah, like you will maybe use some silent weapons or a bow in stealth missions, but most of your combat is spent lobbing grenades at enemies.
Well, it's just casual.
until they start bugging out, and then they just hit the enemy, and the grenade goes flying up in the air for no real reason.
Well, like, it's kind of great that they have that as a sidearm because then you can use it in cars and in the helicopter.
Yes.
But it's also kind of broken because you can fly around cars and blow them up with grenade launchers. Like, you can go to an outpost and just fly up to it and immediately just blow them up with a grenade launcher without even getting out of the helicopter.
And then you see this huge helicopter, and it should be tough. You should look like, oh, you should be scared of this helicopter. These helicopters are coming and rescue you. But then you just get your grenade launcher out, boom, boom. And
I love how sometimes when people bitch and complain about a video game, you're getting like pro tips on what's the most effective way to play it, because it's like, they stress.
Yeah, just get the grenade launcher and use that.
It's just dominant strategy.
Yep, it's
but
passive resistance, man.
Yeah, that is like, and you it's not really much of a tip because most people are probably figure that out when they get the grenade launcher. But yeah, it's just like this is really easy mode.
That game's done.
And they do give you a lot of stuff almost too early, honestly.
These days, I might just boot up fucking Far Cry 2 and just see what that was like.
Especially like you get the wingsuit in like really early in the
Far Cry 2 was an experience. I plan on replaying that at some point, but
you get all the really good gear pretty early in the game.
I'm glad they gave you the wingsuit so early because it's like considering the area you're running around in
it
is
is
so
the
mountainous,
way to travel around.
Yeah, I mean they give you that. They give you the helicopter,
and then just jump out.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Oh, I bought the helicopter for my for the homestead really quickly.
It's nice.
Travel to the homestead. You're gonna help there right out there. You can just use.
Then you gotta unlock them towers to see the rest of this part of the map that's fogged up.
And they very helpfully block you from using the helicopter to fly at the top of the tower.
Because Ubisoft.
Yeah, like, you can like fudge it, but the game really doesn't like when you try to do that.
Yes.
Like you could just kind of like you can get on one of like the outer platforms and just kind of jump off in such a way that you will land on it. But yeah, the game gets kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to fuck over your stupid tower climbing minigame.
And it's not even hard, too. That's the thing. Like, the towers just, you look for the ropes,
like,
and you climb up them.
When Far Cry 3 came out, it was like the end of the novelty of that.
Yeah.
Like, Assassin's Creed has it, and it was like, oh, that's really cool. You could see the city. By the time Far Cry 3 hit, they were like, alright, I get it.
Is
like,
like
3 games or 4 games afterwards, we're like, okay, I get it. The fucking crew has tower climbing.
Yeah.
It's a car game.
That was the stupidest shit ever.
The implementation of Assassin's Creed was basically, it was scenery porn. That's what the whole point of that tower mechanic was, is that you could just climb up the top tower and go, really cool, I'm looking at all this beautiful scenery, and then you just drop to the ground and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But now it's become this kind of like hodgepodge. Like, I'm not really looking at the scenery in the top of this radio tower in Far Cry because I can go to the top of any old mountain and see the scenery. This is nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
It's some good scenery to look at.
And like if you go into the helicopter and just look at the scenery, it looks really good.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so when like they first shut off the game. I was like, the setting is novel, but then when I started playing, I was like, yeah, it like the tropical island. You know, fucking Ubisoft can craft a good looking
and they
world.
really need to use the villain a lot more than they do. Like I haven't beaten the game yet, but like.
At least it's not like the problem with Voss.
Yeah.
As far as just offing him halfway.
I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Hagen is almost like Voss.
Really entertaining.
He's great. It's fucking Troy Baker. He does a great job.
You know, a character played by Troy Baker that you wouldn't really pick up right away that it was Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Like, hey, AJ, what are you doing wearing that clown suit of yours? You're going to rule this country. You need to look something better than that. What's with all the denim and all that? It's like,
he's pretty good.
He has great lines.
Yeah, but I mean, like every review I saw in my playthrough, if you remember from earlier episodes, was just a lot of they don't use him enough.
They don't. They really don't. But at least they have someone there who seems very, very self-aware.
Yeah, he's great.
It's like, look, dude, I'm a video game villain. Deal with it, okay?
Yeah, once you get to like later parts in the game, there's a lot of self-awareness about certain situations. You get any kind of comments on how tropey they are.
I remember, like, you get kidnapped by one of his second in command. He's like, dude, you're gonna mindfuck the poor boy. At least let me say hello first.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah. So you got to the caves already.
Yeah,
you're most of the way through.
Yeah, I'm in the second half of the game and second Like,
Oh, so you already did a bridge to the north?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
So yeah, I'm almost finished. I've been
Season 7 of Interactive Friction.
season
Welcome.
7. You're thinking that far ahead already, Jesus.
Here, I got another game
all,
for you.
I got all 15 seasons planned out.
It's like I got another game for you guys. Just Cause 2.
I didn't play enough of that.
I didn't play enough of that either.
That's
honestly,
a good fucking game.
We've already got like 4 games planned out or so.
we got
Yeah.
a pretty big list of things we could do.
Yeah. We need to find some games that you guys have played too, so we can have you guys on for more stuff.
Yay.
Yeah.
So aside
well,
from that, the other big thing that I did is that my co-op friend that I play a lot of co-op games with, Ian,
Say not me.
he persuaded me to purchase and play with him Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition.
Ooh, I have that.
I'm not sure how he did that, but he did. Yeah. And honestly, it's not a bad game.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
I like RE5 a lot.
Yeah, I like. Even
Very
I will admit.
polarizing.
Yeah, even I will admit.
I
I
just
like
remember
RE5.
that part where we're doing this turret section, and we go, "This is a horror game."
But
Yep.
it's not. Like, that's the thing. I think that's where people get hung up, is it's like, it's not a very good Resident Evil game, but it's a pretty damn fine action game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like,
I played that game 3 times over with different friends each time. Always a great experience.
I'm
with
not gonna
friends.
lie, shooting an enemy in the face and then giving him a roundhouse kick is very satisfying.
yeah.
Like, it reminds me when I first played RE6 with Chris, and it was like one of my first articles I ever wrote was about suplexing a zombie. And I was like, it's just so great! It's just ridiculous!
Yeah.
Resident Evil has just got off
We
the
just
deep
got
end.
to the point where we unlocked and beat the Chris and Jill DLC.
I never got to play that.
It's really short. It's about an hour.
Because, like, don't you have to beat the main game first? If I
You don't have
remember
to
correctly?
beat it, but you had to get like a good way through it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's because there's one segment because it tied into this flashback story where Chris and Sheva are on this boat and she's kind of asking, he's like, "Hey, what happened to your partner?" And he's like, "Well, we did this
Yeah.
thing," and that's where the
He has
mission
the
takes
cutscene.
place. Yeah,
I didn't know they, like, tried to format those into the story, which would probably explain Sheva's
They
story
kind
with
of
Josh as
did.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might need to, like, find someone to play the PS3 version with so I
And
can play this
it's
DLC.
a really-
I fucking got it.
It's a surprisingly good game.
Alright, Chris, gonna play Resident Evil 6.
Like,
Shit.
That's I gotcha!
it's not great, but it's good.
Yeah, it's a fun action game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would play RE5 over Resident
We
6.
did get to the
Evil
part where we
6
have
any
the
day.
the black guys in tribal outfits swarming us
Ooh.
in the swamp.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's
you know-
like, for as much as they tried to escape all the racism stuff, they just dove right into a different problem.
Yeah,
It's cultural insensitivity abound.
I know.
It's like it's this whole thing of like Japanese people. I don't think they realize they're being racist. They obviously don't know.
I
That did not
legitimately-
seem
no,
malicious.
not
It
joking.
just-
I don't think they see the problem in that.
yeah.
That did not seem malicious. That didn't. It just seemed inappropriate.
Yes.
Well, it just seemed like the idea of like something you read from a textbook, like, okay, they're native African tribes. Okay, we'll just have native
Yeah.
African tribes. Like, they don't think about like the cultural context of what that means.
No.
Yes.
Which, you know, granted, I have a very warped view of Japan just through like anime and my old friend who used to live there. But that seems very common in their culture just because they were so isolated for so long.
Yeah,
They don't really
absolutely.
think about the cultural context of the things they put
Like,
out.
they
and
don't-
also, that kind of context is a distinctly American thing.
Yes, that is very much American thinking.
Yeah. Although at first when I was playing the game, I found like when you sprint, it zooms in, and then when you stop sprinting, it zooms out. I actually found that motion of the camera zooming in when you're such close proximity to the character already. I actually found that to be somewhat nauseating.
Yeah, it's a bit like the roadie run from Gears of War,
Yeah.
only the
Yeah.
camera's real tight behind the back
It's
already.
like, why are you so close? It actually really upset my stomach for a while when I was
Camera's
playing
like, hey,
it
I'm right
first.
here.
I had to get used to it.
That's kind of the problem I have with like FOV in games. Like, why I cannot
Yeah.
play that old game Singularity that came out years ago, just because the camera's so tight, it just makes me nauseous.
Oh yeah, I have that on PS3.
Yeah. If I like got it on PS3 and sat like a good few feet away, I could probably be fine. But every time I played, I got headaches on PC. Anyway, RE5, cool game.
Yeah, it's a cool game.
RE6, not as much.
I'm looking forward to finishing RE5, but I have put my foot down. Like, I am not playing RE6 no matter what you do. That's not happening.
I like whether Chris is gonna help me or not, I'm gonna keep playing that game soon
I
enough. Like
might.
I have to know.
I'm gonna put my foot down and say I'm not touching RE6.
You know, I found a PS3 copy of RE6 for $10 in a pawn shop. You might.
I bought mine for what, like $12? Didn't I buy one for both of us? I think.
I think
like
I bought it. I think I
Yeah,
bought
maybe
my
you
copy.
They were both on sale though.
Yeah, we both got it from Green Man Gaming. It was.
Yeah, it was like a $12 or less sale or something
Yeah.
like that.
There is some solid co-op action going on in that game.
I will say this. You're lucky the fact that you are playing with someone, because I remember that being the big thing about RE5 was that
If you're playing by yourself, it sucks.
Yeah, playing
Yes.
by yourself and having AI Sheva with you as opposed to.
Well, I am the one playing Sheva. Like my partner's playing. Chris.
Yeah. But like it's still the thing of like playing by yourself and having an AI partner with you versus having somebody actually play with you in co-op. The difference is night and day. Like
Yeah, I mean that was the thing, is I wanted to play those DLCs from the gold pack, the gold edition or whatever, and I tried replaying the game myself, which is probably the first time I'd done that in years, because I touched it myself way back when, but then I got a whole bunch of friends who played it. So I was just going through and I got to like the first like 1-1 and like 1-2, and I was like, man, this fucking sucks by myself. Like the co-op partner is basically non-existent. She's only there to like
What
resuscitate
version
you on a good
do you
day.
have? What version do you have?
PS3 downloadable gold edition.
I would be willing to play the DLC with you since it's not long.
I mean, Chris
If
says
you
he might
want
just
to.
play the game with me.
yeah, I mean,
Like it's only an hour, so if you need a co-op partner, I would be willing to do that with
Yeah,
you.
I need someone to play like the game proper with me. To
Oh
get to co-op.
yeah, I'm not
So-
doing two playthroughs.
So that's where Chris comes in. He's my Resident Evil partner.
basically.
Yeah.
I will say this. I mean, I've played through RE5 once, so I already have like some of the bonus weapons and shit. So playing it again with somebody is.
I played through that game. I found every badge. I have the infinite rocket launcher.
Oh, we're
Oh,
just
nice.
me and my friend just playing to completion. We're not trying to worry about all that stuff because
I
that's
mean, that kind of happened though when I played it with 3 different people. It's like I played it once, and then I played it and got the alternate costumes and downs, and I played it again with the third friend of mine who was like, "We're doing the under 5 hour infinite rocket launcher," and I was like, "All right, cool," and just fucking tore through that game. And that's why, yeah. And the no, it's the 360 disc version, because I got that and like Fallout 3 at the same time or something like that. It was like that and Batman. I don't know. And I got like everything in that game for the 360 version. It's cool with friends.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't play it alone. Just don't play any games alone. That's why me and Brandon play Far Cry 3 with each other. It's a single player game.
Yeah, fuck Hoyt.
He's well hidden and hard to find, I've heard.
Yeah, we'll call him that.
Okay.
I actually like in one of the episodes that we released this week. I got legitimately angry at the game.
Which one was that?
I think it was like the one we just posted, like either 16 or 17. But like, I got
17's
legitimately,
latest.
I got legitimately angry at Far Cry 3 for how bullshit that last part of the game is.
Oh, is that where in his office?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because that's when you're torturing your brother or whatever. So you go to his office and you go down, and then you go back. Yeah, okay. The game sucks.
So aside from Resident Evil 5 and Far Cry 4, I played a bit of the DLC for Muramasa Rebirth because I had a long commute this week that I needed to do something with.
Oh, I forgot there's DLC for that game.
Yeah, like there are basically an additional, like there are the 2 modules for Momohime and Kisuke that you get for just with the game, because those are the main stories. But if you buy the DLC packs, there are 4 additional modules you can play.
Okay, so it's like it's not part of the PS Plus one. That's just the base game.
Yeah,
But if
that's
I
the
buy
base
it,
game.
does it just show up in like the choose your character mode?
No, there will be. You can play Muramasa or you can play the DLC.
Okay,
They'll
so it's part
let
of,
you
like, the
choose
main
one
menu.
or the other.
Okay, because
Then it will show you the 4 modules if you I got them all. So
I've been making slow progress through Momohime's because I already played that one on the Wii, so it's a bit boring to play through the same bosses I've already done on the Wii and with Kisuke, but I really want to get the true ending in that game.
Yeah, I still need to play that game, period.
So
It's fun!
the DLC.
I would send you my Wii version if you want.
I own it. It's
It's a great game.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be even more pissed at me that I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, but dude, I gotta finish that so I can play
It's a
Odin
really
Sphere.
good game, though, dude.
I know.
Oh
Where's
my
my,
god.
where's my fucking Odin Sphere remaster?
Odin Sphere is
Oh,
amazing.
God, yeah.
It's on the PS. It's on the PS2 Classic.
Yeah.
What was the third one? What was the third one they made?
Grim Grimoire,
Grim Grimoire. And then I thought they made another for PS3.
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown.
Oh shit, that is them. Yeah. Okay. Wonder what's next from them. Anyway,
But yeah,
Yes,
the DLC I'm playing, the story is that you are playing as a Nekomata.
excuse me.
You
What the fuck
are
did you say to me?
you were a cat whose owners were brutally killed because they were trying to deliver a teacup to their lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday.
So,
It's Tuesday, no Japan.
in revenge, this cat turns into a Nekomata, a cat demon, and decides it's going to take revenge on the people who killed its owner.
Is Mata that worked for Demon?
I don't know.
I thought that was Oni.
Oni's like devil. The problem is I'm thinking of yokai, which is like half demon. I think that's which I thought what you would put with. I'm gonna look this up. Continue.
But yeah, that is a story, and you know, in the base game, the way your characters build powers is through having all these special swords and shit. In this DLC, the way they do it is that you have three forms you fight in instead of the three different swords. You have your human-ish form where you use claws and physical attacks. You have a cat form that uses fire magic. And if you build up enough, if you absorb enough enemy souls, you can transform into a demon cat.
Before you go on, apparently this is an actual thing.
Yeah,
Nekomata are a yokai of cats told about in folklore as well as in classic Kaiden essays.
yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know it was an actual like folklore thing, and they have like a picture of it.
Yeah, it's a persona.
Oh god damn it!
Of course it is.
Anyway, here's a picture of Nekomata for you. Brandon, if you could put that in the annotations for later so the viewers will know what we're talking about.
Sure.
That's interesting, though. I'm going to actually read that afterwards. I like going to Wikipedia and just reading random stuff.
But yeah, like the story is that the cat gets pissed and turns into a demon to avenge its owner's deaths.
And this is one of 4?
Yeah, this is one of 4 different modules. I forget what the other 3 are.
Do you know how long each of these are?
Well, I'm approximately 3 hours into this DLC, and it says I'm on the final act.
Okay. Do you know, do you remember the price for these?
They're, I think, about $5 a pop.
Okay. I'll say that's a pretty
Which
fair
honestly
price
is
for an
fair.
afternoon of content.
I have this weird thing where with DLC, I want them to be short. I don't want a long DLC.
Dude, I want games and DLC to be short. I don't have fucking time for all these games.
I don't know why this is the case for me, but when it comes to DLC, I kind of want it to be over in less than 5 hours.
I wonder if that's just because you've already played the base game that you only want just a little taste of the best part of that game.
Yeah, like
You don't want another one of those games with the same systems without any
when
marketing.
Yeah.
Ubisoft, when the Unity DLC with the Dead Kings had this whole additional area with all these collectibles, I was kind of like, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, it's been kind of killing
I
me.
just
want to
play the missions. I just want to play the missions and be done with this. I don't need a whole new area full of collectibles and shit.
Yeah, I love the idea of I like the idea of like bite-sized DLC and then full-on like '90s expansion pack. Like here's
Like Shivering
10-hour
Isles.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like both.
Yeah, I'm okay
can
with
like
Shivering
both.
Isles like being a
And
whole
even
different
one
area.
base game could contain both, where one of them could be like, here's the missions, and one of them's like, here's a whole new area and quests and vehicles and stuff. It's like, cool, I'll buy that one later. For now, I'm gonna play these little like 2-hour ones.
But I'm okay with these little short modules that
Yeah.
reiterate and on old concepts in new ways by giving you new play styles. Because like I said before, you don't get new swords because you're a Nekomata. You don't use swords. You use claws.
But do they function like the swords as far as switching them?
They do, except instead of you keep those same like forms. Those 3 forms are your swords that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
But you level them up individually.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you level up or otherwise.
And
modify them.
you can purchase passives along with leveling up, and you can just choose like you have these 3 passives
Okay.
instead. That's their kind of way of bringing those old mechanics into this new package.
It sounds like pretty cool DLC.
And it does work. I'm enjoying it.
And this is on the Vita version?
Yes,
Okay.
I have the Vita version of the game.
All right. That sounds really cool.
It is really cool, and I would definitely, if you have Muramasa Rebirth, if you don't have it, get it.
Yeah, dude, like whatever price it is, I'm sure it can't be that expensive.
It's $20 base price, and if you can find it on the sale, even more.
Yeah, it's like even at $20 though, it's a pretty awesome game.
There is a lot in that $20. Definitely money's worth.
I also discovered that it's a pretty good Vita game, as I would just like go to bed and if I had like a spare half hour, 40 minutes or so, I could just play like an entire act, and then just be like, all right, I'm done. Because it's just go to one end of the map to the other and then fight a boss, and that's it.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
Yeah,
and it plays so nicely, and it looks so good. Oh my god, Vanillaware and whoever does the art in Vanillaware, you need to be star.
That guy needs the fucking feat of animation award for the Oscars.
Holy shit.
It's beautiful, man.
That's why I'm so excited to see whatever they do next.
Just watching those characters move is beautiful.
Yep. It kind of makes it's one of those games that makes me want to get a Vita TV so I can just blow it up on my TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on if it's compatible.
So if you don't have it, get it. And if you have it, get some of the DLC. It's definitely worth.
Or if you're Chris and you haven't played it, play it. Pretty good.
I will.
Yeah. I'm not forcing you or anything. I'm just saying.
I will.
If you forgot about it, play it sometime.
So yeah, like aside from the stuff like interactive friction and all that, that has been my week.
Season 1 is done. Woo! Party!
And this was definitely a fun week for me.
Yeah. I like on Twitter we finished season 1 and we had people actually going like, you actually finished the season, you're starting another one? It's like, yeah. Working all the time.
Because, some of my previous Let's Plays have had not so great track records.
For stuff out of your...
This isn't the first one I finished. It's not, but it's like...
Me and Chris still got to finish fucking Aliens so I can just load. I'm not even recording at this point. We've just been trying to play it, but like every time we play it, the game is so bad.
I'm still amazed at how short Far Cry 3 is if you take away all of the
who was
all the collectibles.
There was somebody who commented, was it Alduin or something like that? Who just made a comment like how incredibly fucking because he's like, you're done already, and I was like, yeah, that game is really short.
Like if you don't do the towers, if you do them off camera, there is not a lot to the actual game story. And that's kind of true for Far Cry 4 as well, because there's only like 32 story missions. Yep.
I mean, that's the Ubisoft moniker.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm getting sick of Ubisoft the game in a way.
Yeah. It's like, it's not a terrible template, but it's getting old.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the idea of, I wouldn't say it's padding. Like, it's not like the side stuff is bad, but it's just like, there's only so many missions, and then most of your game time will come out of side stuff. It's like, can I just get a game where there's just a core game, no collectibles, no bullshit? Just like, I don't even care if it's shorter. Just like a solid 10-hour experience. Like, here's missions, you're done.
No collectibles, but not as many.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need 150 propaganda posters in the area. You don't need that.
I got all of those. I got all of the masks of Yalong or whatever.
I have, like, right now I have, like, 34 of them, I think.
Yeah, I remember when I got towards the end, I really thought he was just going to, like, stab me in the back at one point. But as far as I got, he never showed up. And then I did all of the Kirat Fashion Week stuff.
I've done 2 of the Shangri-La quests, and those are not...
suck.
Those are
They're
not
so bad.
fun.
It
would be one thing if, like, anything in your skill tree transferred over to this guy, but like you start fresh. Like the Shangri-La protagonist has only 3 health gauges,
and the enemies are just kind of like crazy and will kill you like if they ever see you. And like the tiger's cool, but not cool enough to make up for the fact that you only have a bow. Once I finished it, I was just so glad I was done with that. I was like, I cannot believe I never got to that again.
2 of the 4 optional Shangri-La quests, and I'm like,
It actually gets worse later on, just because the encounters get crazier.
After a while, I just kind of started sprinting past the enemy.
I did that too.
Like, you know what? You are not fun
Another
to
pro
fight.
tip for Far Cry.
You're definitely
Brandon's
more
pro
fun-
tips: run past everyone.
You were not fun to fight, but you're definitely more fun to run past.
Yeah, wait
Because
till you get
fuck you
wait
guys.
till you get to the boss battle at the end of the 4th part. Because of course there's a fucking boss battle.
Of course, there's like a smoke god, like there was in Far Cry 3.
Oh god, it was so bad in Far Cry 3.
Making me look really forward to playing this.
Oh, you should just watch our Let's Play. Don't even play Far Cry 3.
You sure?
I don't. If you've never played it, I would play Far Cry.
No,
3.
you should play it once and watch our Let's Play. But you just
Yes.
have to watch our Let's Play either way.
Yeah, probably. I already.
both. Just
Already-
play a part and then watch us play that part.
I mean, I already bought the fucking Far Cry franchise for $5 on Steam once, so.
I mean, yeah, Far Cry
Like,
3.
For
It's
as much as we rag on 3, play it once if you've never played it.
it's fun to play, but like, god damn, that's
It's almost fun to look at the story for the first time and just like with fresh eyes and be like, because back when I first played it, and I talked about this a lot on the Let's Play thing, is I was like, oh, this is a pretty alright story, and looking back on it, I'm like, oh god, this story just
No.
falls the fucking apart.
Yeah.
I
Like, trying to
wonder if
about it.
that's my fault.
I mean, it's partly that, like we discussed in the videos, like episode 14 or something like that, how we both critically look at games now. So if I played that game for the first time now, I probably would have had the same reaction.
Yeah, because I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not
Just
even
like when you start questioning character motivations, it just falls apart. Like, why would Dennis do this? Why would Citra do this? Why the fuck does Jason do anything?
Because
And
of
what do
reasons.
any of them eat?
Well, they were probably eating the pot until you burn that whole crop down, but
And how
Yeah, I starved the whole fucking island.
and how is it that you can just like inject any 2 green leaves into your veins and suddenly you're all healthy?
I don't know.
Because
Fucking.
it's fucking medical. It's just pure marijuana and poison ivy.
I mean, you might as well start questioning all video games. Fucking Resident Evil 6 is just.
Take some
here.
herbs and just smash them into a tube.
Yeah,
Combine the
just
green
take some
and red-
herbs and make them into a Tic-Tac, and then you
In
eat the
green and
Tic-Tacs.
the red herb and you get full health.
Oh, that's right. In Aria 6, it's actually like Tic-Tacs.
Yep.
Like their pill form.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mentos, the
Takes-
fresh maker.
It's Tic-Tacs, you motherfucker.
I think with that though, we can call it a show. So,
with Tic-Tacs, it's your motherfucker. We
Yeah.
call it the show.
yep, that's the title for this week.
Yeah, motherfucker.
And they won't even get the joke until the very end.
I'm gonna
Careful listeners.
I'm gonna amend it to just Tic-Tacs, you bitch. Just
Tic-Tacs, you mother hyphen.
just put asterisk like I did last time for our fucking
Oh, yeah.
panty party. But
Yeah, well, thank you, Chris, for recording for me. As I am smashed between closing tonight and opening the store tomorrow morning.
Sundays
so-
just aren't good for you, man. Just
we'll talk about it some other time.
Yeah.
We might need to reconsider this.
Yep.
What time? That's for another time. We got some stuff to discuss afterwards. But thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
yep. Until
Yeah,
next time,
fantastic
folks.
This is the texture pop popping off.
I really, you
so
know what? I'm
much.
just gonna say I hate it when you say that.
I really do.
I really
The
hate it.
worst. Just the fucking sound of popping off.
I'm just like it's not even
Oh.
funny to me. Like I'm not laughing on the inside or anything. I'm just disgusted. Like
It's pretty much how I feel about Brandon half the time. And yeah, I'm still doing Let's Plays.
good night, later, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Popping off.